Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm your Kennywood fanatic and I hope you all are having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I know I am. It's that time of year again where other than maybe a holiday light visit or two, I'm unfortunately done coasting this year. This year I visited 5 different parks, 2 new ones, and collected 19 new credits. That being said, my top 10 is set, so without further ado, let's get into this. I had a hard time deciding on my number 10, but I decided on Pantheon. Pantheon is a great blitz coaster. Yes, it's a very short ride, however, every element delivers. My favorite moment on it is probably the bunny hill in the middle of the swing launch, which delivers some insane ejector airtime. My only problem with this ride is the theming. It's at Busch Gardens. You'd think the station and queue would at least be themed to the Pantheon in Rome. Number 9 is Orion. It's the only B&M Giga that I've done so far, and it did not disappoint me. From the first drop in the back row to the final hills in the front, from start to finish, this coaster does not let off the gas. The speed bank right after the drop is a very cool moment. It's not meant to give airtime, but laterals, and it does that very well. The speed hill and camelback offer great flow ejector, and Orion's belt offers some insane positives. I heard everyone dogging on this ride, particularly for being forceless or short, and I definitely disagree. This is such a good ride, so underrated by so many, and a Giga Coaster is a Giga Coaster at the end of the day. Number 8 is Diamondback, one of 3 B&M hypers that I've done. Diamondback is by far the most forceful. It is definitely the roughest too. The front row is smooth compared to the back. Every hill has borderline ejector airtime. The drop is super whippy in the back row, but every single valley has an intense rattle, at least in the back row. The front row is not too bad on this ride. I actually really enjoy the front row. In the back row, all the camelbacks have borderline ejector, and in the front row, it's super strong floater. So I think that this ride has so many redeeming qualities. Yes, it has a bit of a rattle, and by a bit I mean a really bad rattle in the back row. Any other row should be fine though. Coming in at number 7 is Maverick. Maverick has had a little bit of a fall from grace, from being in my top 5 a few years ago to now only being my number 7, but it's still a great ride. It's one of the most aggressive coasters I've done from start to finish. The 95-degree drop offers great whip and ejector airtime. The snaps and stangle dives offer some really good lateral forces. Side note, the stangle dives are probably my favorite part about this coaster. The second launch is also super punchy and forceful. Like I said, this has had a bit of a fall from grace. That does not mean it's a bad ride at all. I just thought a different coaster at its park was better whenever I went in 2025. Coming in at number 6 is Wildcat's Revenge. This was my most hyped up coaster for the year, and it did not let my expectations down. It's definitely a back row ride with aggressive airtime on every hill, even the pre-lift. The inversions are all super whippy, and the double down with the unbanked turn is probably one of my favorite elements on any coaster, up there with the Drachenfire dive drop on Steel Curtain, quad down on Lightning Rod, and the Mosasaurus roll on Velocicoaster. Number 5 is Steel Vengeance. In 2022, I was disappointed by this coaster a little bit, but one back row ride this year has completely redeemed it for me. It's such a long ride to the point where I was questioning when it would be over. The sequence with the roll going through the lift hill structure, then doing an overbank turn, is great. It flows so well on ride, and the camelback and outer bank turn both offer some of the best ejector airtime. I thought that the sequence through the lift hill was probably one of my favorite elements just because of how flowy it was. Like, you just didn't leave your seat at all until it was over. It was insane. I do owe Steel Vengeance an apology. Steel Vengeance, I am sorry for thinking Blue Streak had better airtime than you. Number 4 is Stormrunner. Stormrunner is definitely a front row ride. That's where it's its smoothest. The launch is like nothing I've experienced before, with the wind making my face feel like it was about to peel off my skull. The top hat had great ejector, the Cobra Loop had good whip and force, but the flying snake dive is a whole other animal. This element flows like water, from the point where you start from the first inline twist to the point of the dive. You feel this continuous roll, and you get offered some great hang time, and you get some really good airtime popping into it in the front row. I will say that this could have dethroned a different coaster from my favorite in Pennsylvania, but it barely did not. Number 3 is Phantom's Revenge. This coaster is my baby. I've ridden this countless times and it was running amazing this year. Phantom should be illegal. Those last ejector hills try to murder you and I love every second of it. The front row is bonkers with more airtime and the sense of speed you get. This is also one of the best night rides out there, with that second drop making you feel like you're plummeting into a black hole. I don't know what to say about this coaster that I haven't said already. It is my favorite in the state of Pennsylvania. It is such a masterpiece, and I don't know if it should be 3 or 2. I don't know if I'm overhyping it for myself because it's at my home park, but it is such a peak ride. Number 2 is Velocicoaster. It's been a while since I've ridden this coaster, 2022 to be exact, but hopefully I'll get on it in 2026. Jurassic Park is one of my 3 favorite movies, so a Jurassic themed coaster is right up my alley. This coaster has 2 halves. I think both halves are great. The first half offers some really good theming, and the second half is just super intense. I prefer the second half personally for the Mosasaurus roll. It's probably the most hang time filled but still whippy element ever. You feel like you're about to fall into the water and become a victim of the Mosasaurus. The theming on this ride is immaculate, like I said before. Universal had hit a grand slam with this thing. I will also add that this coaster is the coaster that made me a Thuzy. It was the first one that I followed construction on. It was the first one that I hyped up for. It was the coaster for me. Lastly, you saw it coming. Number 1 is Lightning Rod. The last time I rode this was 2023 with the launch, so I'll talk about that version of it. The launch was absolutely insane. It was a lift hill launch, sort of like Maverick, but it was still very punchy. Yes, this ride has some potholes, however the airtime makes up for that. The wave turn offers good sideways ejector, however I prefer Wildcat's Revenge's wave turns. The quad down is one of the most bonkers elements ever, and probably my favorite element ever. The ride ends with a good dose of positives followed by one last ejector moment. Lightning Rod, when I rode it, was almost flawless. It will take an immaculate coaster to dethrone it, which it might in Stardust Racers. We'll see later this year, but I love cars. This coaster is perfect. Like I said with Velocicoaster, how that theme blended with a coaster was perfect for me. A car theme blended with a coaster is also perfect for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it has been a while since I uploaded. I hope that this will end the hiatus. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Huge shout out to Coaster Vlogs, Zach Clark, Central Florida Thrills, Amusement Insider, Massachusetts Coaster, and Adventurers Out There for letting me use their footage for this video. Now, please exit safely to your right and have a great rest of your day here at Kennywood Park.